I think a lot of times everybody takes running too seriously. I mean, we're just doing this as a fun hobby. I mean, for 99% of us. So every once in a while, I'll get a comment from somebody who thinks, and I'm like, man, just look at my profile. It's like I've been doing these jokes for years. You know what I mean? So
One, two, three, four.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 66 of the On the Runs podcast. We are coming to you in person. What's up, Erica? From your living room couch in your living room podcast studio. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. You caught me at a good afternoon because we are recording a little bit earlier than usual.
Currently, it is 2:14 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a long night for me because I'm going to hockey tonight.
Man, you've had a long weekend. This is just tacking it on. You had to work today.
Yeah.
Wink. And then now you got hockey afterwards. So yeah, you're a busy dude.
So, and we have an interview. We have two interviews tonight we're doing, technically. One is going to be, by the time you're listening, you guys can already check it out on YouTube because it will be YouTube OTR Live with Sarah Halleck. First thing, congratulations to Sarah and Nicole.
I am so excited for you ladies. I am just so proud. They finished their first ever triathlon yesterday.
Yeah, I'm super. Well, Saturday.
Yesterday as in Saturday. Just kidding. Wait, that's not even yesterday.
I'm super excited and pumped for them. So congratulations, ladies. Can't wait to hear about it. We'll talk about that later.
Very excited.
Listen, we got a good interview today, but sometimes I say I'll talk about me after the interview at the end of the pod.
Do you not want to wait?
No, I don't want to wait. I want to talk about my weekend. As you know, I went to the Sunrise Ascent and had the hike.
How was it?
So the event was fun, but the event isn't what I want to talk about. I want to tell you this. So we're going to start with the end and then we're going to go back to the beginning. You ready?
Okay, sure.
I drove through a tree.
I
will repeat that. You drove through
a tree.
Freaking tree. All right. Let's go back. Wayne's World.
I don't even know how to word a question.
We're going back.
Okay. All right.
Saturday, I'm driving up. I'm taking Jay's girlfriend with me, Jackie. What's up, Jackie? She wanted a shout out.
Awesome.
So
hi, Jackie.
Jackie and I are driving up. All this rain we've been getting. Insane, right?
Yes.
So like near the hooks at tolls, couldn't see in front of you. Couldn't even see
so you were going up like in the afternoon when it was getting bad, right?
I spent all day Saturday at the pool with the boys. I actually did. I want to talk about it later, but I juiced up. I got the needle. I got.
You can't say you juiced up.
I juiced up. I got.
So you did that cool IV thing then?
Yes, I did the IV fusion thing. We got to talk about that. But that's not part of the story.
Sure.
I had a great Saturday morning. Beautiful. The rain, though, massive downpours. It clears up. We drive all the way to Conway. I am sleeping. My plan is to sleep in a tent. I was so excited to sleep in a tent at the base of Mount Washington with Karen. Jay had a hotel. I had an invitation to stay, but I wanted to sleep in a tent.
Sure.
So I drive Jackie to the hotel. We meet Jay there. Karen meets me there. It starts downpouring again. It's like a hurricane, like call it a class 3 hurricane.
Ooh.
We're talking like floods and the roads are piling up. We go out to dinner. We grabbed dinner at the 99. We had this waitress. Her name was Boston. She was fun.
Okay.
We had food, and then Karen and I go to Hannaford's in Conway to
stock up.
I just wanted muffins and some snacks. What I really wanted was I wanted dairy-free chocolate, like a chocolate bar.
Oh.
And so you can get it at Hannaford's. It's a brand called Enjoy Life.
And did they not have one?
Oh, they did.
You? Oh, okay. I'm like, where's I'm waiting for the drop.
I got my muffins and I got the chocolate bars and I bought a big bag of Twizzlers. So we leave Hannaford's.
You got any left?
I got a lot left, actually. And I think they're in the truck.
That. Oh, I'm like, I don't see that. Anywho.
We leave Hannaford's. It is a massive downpour, a monsoon.
Woof.
So I don't know how often you go to Conway. But
not very often, no.
One really busy road with all the outlets, and there's so much traffic.
We drive through that during Reach the Beach, or we used to.
Yes. Yes. Route change. That's for later.
Yes.
That's for another episode.
Yes, we'll save that.
So if you use a GPS or you know the area, and when you're going to Mount Washington, it will drive you around. You will either take something called West Side Road, or you will take, it's kind of a new road. It's behind the Hannafords and the Lowe's, the Walmarts and all that.
Sure.
So the GPS takes us that way been this way before. And I'm now driving, and it has me turn left, and left brings me back to Route 302.
Okay.
I'm driving down this hill, this old back road, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, falling from the sky was a motherfucking tree. Within 3 car lengths of me, like if a moose or a deer just runs out in front of you and you have no time to react.
So literally it's falling in front of your car.
Yes.
So you're like, holy shit, what do I do?
I couldn't even do anything.
So you drove
What did I say?
through a tree.
I drove through a tree.
How big was this tree?
Big. I'm going to show you pictures. It was longer than the length of the road, or than the width of the road.
You were driving your truck?
And I was driving my truck.
You drove your truck today. So that leads me to believe nothing bad happened.
It leads you to believe my truck is a motherfucking beast.
Also that. You were
Right.
swearing today.
So
I kind of like it.
I'll bleep them out.
No, don't.
I don't know. I don't love it.
No, this is just like emphasis.
Yes.
It's the emphasis.
Yes.
We need that. Okay, continue.
So this tree falls in front of me, like just falling out of the sky. In my mind, it just, boom, came it down in front of me. I had 2 seconds to react. I didn't react. I drove straight. And I hear the truck like just, right?
Uh-huh.
My first 3 seconds of thought was, and it was really 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm buying a new truck.
Oh, no.
And I'm having this debate. Do I sell my truck and buy a new truck? Or do I keep my truck and buy the new Prius? Like, I'm going back and forth.
So all of this in the 1 second that it took to where you were like, oh my God, what happened?
I was like, I'm buying a new truck.
Mm.
I'm like,
Mhm.
the answer has been set. The Lord has answered the question. I'm buying a new truck.
No.
But then my truck drove straight and it didn't turn. And I even gassed it up. And then I thought, I got to stop. And so I finally stop and I walk out to the front of my truck and there's no damage.
I am shocked for you.
I'm like, what the heck? There's some twigs in the grill. I look back, the tree's still in the middle of the road, split in half. And
you literally drove through
I go
a
to
tree.
Karen. Karen's behind me. I go, did you see
So
that?
she was I thought she was in the car with you.
No, she's behind me. I go,
Oh.
did you see that? And she goes, there's a tree in the road. What else is there to see? And she thought I just drove through it. Like there was a lane.
Over it? Yeah.
Well, no, there was a lane. And I go, no, I drove through the tree and broke the tree in half. And I go, my truck seems fine. Now we'll get to the truck and its condition soon. But we drive back up the road. We're talking 100 yards.
Uh-huh.
I spin around and I'm like, I can't believe my truck's doing this. It's a badass truck, which, by the way, we had milestones last week. I missed one. My truck hit while we were on vacation 250,000 miles, and she's still a beast.
There you go.
My truck, or the tree, we're looking at it, and we're just in disbelief.
Uh-huh.
So you can see, like, the tree, it was a dead tree, and the wind and the rain just at some point, it just gave, and it gave right as I was driving down this road. 2 seconds later, it would have landed on my roof.
Yeah. You got lucky.
So this is a podcast, but I'm going to show you these pictures of the tree. So let's first show you the picture of the tree cut in half in the middle of the road. You ready? Here you go.
Oh, so you like snapped it in half when you drove through it, or like as it was falling and you just okay.
Right. Here's another picture.
I was thinking, I was picturing a freaking redwood.
Oh no.
The sky.
This is about 5 to 6 inches in diameter.
I mean, that is a substantial tree.
Right.
But I was picturing a lot worse. I was picturing
here's the other half.
Tree. Oh, that looks worse.
If that was 2 seconds later, those branches go through my windshield and stab me in the heart and I die.
Sheesh.
Right? Just insane.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That is crazy.
The self-diagnosis on my truck is I have an exhaust leak.
Oh.
It drives straight, but the engine, and I've driven it 300 miles since.
Yeah.
Especially when idling or when you're at like a stop sign and you just hit the gas, you hear that noise like an exhaust leak. Like the leak is just like it's a small leak and you can hear it like
I actually just
out.
got that fixed on my car. My exhaust. It was pretty bad shape. So get it fixed.
So I drove through a motherfucking tree. Holy shit. Who does that? So my thought is
you had no choice, no reaction time.
I remember seeing the tree not bounce, but kind of like rebound up a little bit. It comes down, rebounds up. And I remember the front wheels hitting it and the front going up. Imagine driving fast over a speed bump and your front wheels go ba-boom and then your back wheels go ba-boom. I don't remember the back wheels doing that.
Oh.
So I think like in a way, my truck, my BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, no free ads. I think those tires just tore this tree apart. And it, like, because you saw in the picture, and I'll post the picture, guys, it like pushed the tree to the side, I think kind of before the rear wheels got it, but no visible damage to cosmetically the front. It drives straight. It's not even like unaligned. It drives straight. Here's the trick. Here's a tip, guys. I give you guys little tips here, like put the toilet seat down in a porta potty, because that's how it's designed to not smell bad.
Mm-hmm.
When something runs in front of you, a deer, a moose, whatever, do not swerve. Brake and keep the wheel straight. Okay? No, because if you swerve, you're going to go off the road. Eric is giving me.
I'm just like, oh, I don't want to picture this, but yeah.
You keep the wheel straight. More likely, that deer or moose or whatever is going to get out of the way more versus you turning into it, right? It might. You don't know if it's going to like turn around and go back or try to finish its path. The same thing for like potholes. If you see a big pothole, you hit the brake, but before you hit the pothole, actually take your foot off the brake, but keep the wheel straight.
Oh.
Keep the wheel straight. You stay on the road. Don't go off the road, guys. Like that is my PSA. Don't go off the road. So we drive up to Mount Washington. It's still downpouring. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I'm going to drive back to the hotel and stay with Jay and his girlfriend, Jackie. His girlfriend's name is Jackie. Did I say that?
Yes, you said hi to Jackie.
There's a shout out to Jackie again. So you met Jackie at the very end of Reach the Beach. Mm-hmm. I was bummed that because I really wanted to sleep in my tent. I didn't have the camper. And I realized I should have brought the camper because how massive the rain was.
Yeah.
Karen's like, I'm not going back to the hotel. I'm going to sleep in my Jeep. So we're hanging out there. And then eventually the rain let up enough where I went and found in the back of my truck a bed sheet. This was Tuka's bed sheet, my dog.
Okay.
Been in there for a year and a half. Still had her hair on it, right? So still smelled like Tuka a year and a half later. I laid that on the grass of this big field at the base of Mount Washington where everyone's camping. And then I put my tent on top of it. So that kind of like helped with the dampness of the grass. A little bit, yeah. Right? And eventually the rain let up. And I thoroughly enjoyed sleeping in my tent. And there's no service. I didn't download
off the grid
anything.
Again. Yeah.
Off the grid. I did download some podcasts, but I did two things. One, I wrote notes I wrote the story that I never even looked at. I wrote the whole story about the Tacoma and the tree.
Yeah.
And I didn't even read it. I just told you off memory. But I wrote notes for today's interview too, that I eventually type up.
Yeah.
You know what else I did?
Do tell.
I read a book.
You are not the reader. You even said it on the podcast.
I don't read books.
Not often, at least. So you actually had a chance to read.
Do you want to guess what book I read?
Why Run When?
That is correct.
Okay, good.
I read probably the first third of his book.
See, isn't it such a good read?
It was perfect little stories because it was like, oh, this next story is only 3 pages, 3.5 pages. Oh, I'll do another one.
Easily digestible chapters.
Until the point where I actually fell asleep, like kind of in the book.
Oh, Patrick, you put him to sleep.
I was sleeping by 10:15, but I was up around 2 because I heard some of the teams get up at 2:00 and they start. So those are the solo teams. So like. Amanda Bover was there. And
you saw her?
She was on a solo team.
Okay.
And they start at 2 or 2:30.
Yeah, I saw she had a real early start.
So it's a solo team. The guy tries to do it by himself.
Okay. And she's just support. Okay.
Right, support. And it would be walkers, or it would be someone on a hand bike or something, a hand cycle, like what you see in the Boston Marathon. Yeah. My team doesn't start until 4:30. No, that's wrong. Well, yeah, but when we got there. Somehow I volunteered to be team captain, which I've always kind of been a co-captain with Darlene on Team Chester, but Darlene hasn't come the past 2 years. And last year we were on Team Jacques, and it was kind of unorganized, but it was his first year. And we were kind of like, it was a bunch of people from Team Chester, and we just kind of took over and said, this is how this is going to work. This is for the new people. Because you guys were
used to it, and you had the lay of the land. Yeah.
So this year I show up again. A lot of the people from Team Chester didn't show up. I don't know if they were hesitant because of the weather.
Okay.
I don't even know if they signed up. Last year they did, but it was me and Jay and Karen and Jackie, and we had this whole school.
You were all on the same team?
Right.
Oh, nice.
Someone there running said, they don't have a team captain. Can you do it? I was like, sure. All I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to tell everyone how to use the trail rider. These are your positions and all this. And then they say, okay, well, come here in the morning at 3:30 and we're going to give you a bucket and there'll be like papers and waivers. And I'm like, what? Responsibilities? I have responsibilities. And at one point I realized I need to like, okay, I have a roster. I got to check everyone in. I need to make sure everyone stays together, which I always do.
Mhm.
But then I was responsible for finding everyone a ride down.
Oh.
Right. And so I did all that.
A little more than you were bargaining for, huh?
But, they asked me to do it again next year, and I said yes.
There you go.
Because I know what to do next year, and I'll be much more prepared.
Good.
And
Good.
they will be too, and we're going to create like a team color. And I'm talking to, if I go to my notes, this does not sound good on a mic. And so I was talking to people from who were first timers. We had a school called the White Mountain School.
Mhm.
It's a high school in Bethlehem.
Okay.
And Becky like ran the program, and they had Emily, and these are teachers, and Kelly and Daria, and they brought some really cool kids. I remember Ava. I loved Ava.
Sure.
Ava was the first one there. I go, all right, Ava, you're going to get the first position. You're going to be here. And I'm like putting all these high school kids to work or telling them where to go and being supportive. And we had guys like, I'm going to name off memory, John Huck, Eric Sweet. He's so cool. Eric's the hiker dude who we talked about him coming on the pod next year. We're going to do it around signups for Sunrise Ascent and talk about hiking stories and talk about this event. There was Garrison and Alyssa. There was Mary, Danielle, Oliver, of course, Karen, Jay, and Jackie. Garrison, I hope I'm getting his name right. He told me some wild story of him and his buddies were snow biking. It's like a snowmobile dirt bike crossover in Quebec, Canada.
Uh-huh.
And they got stuck. A couple of them got stuck, and they were stranded there for 2 days in the middle of a snowstorm. And they got carried out by like Quebec Search and Rescue on a helicopter.
Wow.
Right. And they I guess these guys, I'll find the story. I'll even post it. They like made a fire and everything trying to survive. And they were there for 2 days. Like the search and rescue got called off because of the storm.
That's bad.
Wild. So the other person there was Chris Westfield. He was there. I've asked this guy, I've asked him and Steve for years to come and do this with me or donate.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he shows up and says hi to me as I'm like going through instructions with my team.
Yeah.
But he was on another team. And I was like, you're on another team and you didn't even tell me you were coming after all these years.
Surprise.
Right. And then I was like, hey, I guess he didn't get to do much. They had a bunch of college studs on their team. This is going long, guys. I'm so sorry. But I said, next year, join my team. And he goes, you can't ask me that in front of my team. And I go, I've asked you for 12 years.
I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
saw some of your videos. Yeah. It looked really cool up there though. Like you were literally going above the clouds.
Yeah.
Like you could see the line.
But and the clouds move so fast.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it looked gorgeous and then you're in a cloud.
But it was whipping that wind.
It was. And that was fine because we're dry. If it rained, it would have been worse. It would have been the worst weather that we've had.
That would have been like a repeat of the Mount Washington road race that they just had.
Yeah, this was definitely
and wet and windy and gross.
Yeah, it was definitely much better than that.
Good.
So I promise great weather next year. So I hope you guys come. I hope people come. I promise great weather. Now, I say I promise great weather. It will either be beautiful and sunny or it will just be great. Whether it's great wind, great rain, great snow.
Oh boy. So yeah, he's really not promising you shit.
It's going to be great weather. It's not going to be in the
He's
middle.
promising you weather is basically it. So there will be some sort of weather
I'm promising
happening.
Great weather. None of that in the middle of stuff. It'll just be great.
There you go.
Because you never know about Washington. The funniest thing was two more things on it. Jacques, who is our athlete, he's 14. He has some level of cerebral palsy.
Okay.
He goes... Unlike Chester, who couldn't really communicate with us, Jacques can.
Okay.
He told us, we need to do this on a warm day. And I go, I know.
It's supposed to be a warm day.
It's the middle of the summer, dude.
That's Mount Washington for you.
The other thing, Karen almost killed him.
What?
Yep. Karen almost killed Jacques.
What happened?
She gave him a Snickers.
Oh, no.
Apparently, he's allergic to peanuts.
Oh, no.
And this is something the team captain would typically know, but I didn't know.
Uh-huh.
But every time something happened, it was like, Eric, what do we do? Eric, what do we do?
So nobody briefed you, so you couldn't brief others.
And I almost brought my EpiPens. And I said, okay, when you have peanuts, what's your reaction? And it was all very similar to what I have.
Uh-huh.
So I grabbed my extra water bottle because he didn't have water. He had milk, which I thought was weird.
Huh. I haven't heard.
Because I didn't pack his stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not the one packing his nutrition.
Yes.
And when I get early stages of a reaction to dairy, I chug water. And I said, drink more water. We'll stop for more pee breaks if we have to.
Mm-hmm.
But drink more water. And eventually it was fine. And well, he was fine the whole time, but it was a small scare. And
yeah,
I think Karen pissed her pants a little. She had a little dribble.
Oh, poor Karen.
So that is my story of the Sunrise Ascent. It's been 12 years, but it was my 11th year because I didn't do anything during the COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
It was my 9th summit because 2 of the years the summit attempt was canceled.
Oh.
And so we did hikes around just the trails because of the weather.
Yeah. I mean, you do what you can.
Yeah.
So
they raised over $60,000.
Wow. That's great.
I know they can do better because in the earlier years, we raised closer to 100,000. And I say it's just there's been some personnel changes and they're for good, but some people retired. So there's new people in there now running.
Still got new training and getting used to things.
Well, the event feels a little smaller than years past.
Okay.
And Martin passed away. And Martin and his family were the ones who started this event 14 years ago.
Okay.
So
continue the legacy. That's all you can do.
So I'll be there next year. Team. I don't like the word team captain, but I like team lead.
Okay.
So.
And you could be the liaison.
Yes. Very cool.
Very French.
Let's get to our interview.
About time.
Yeah. How long have we been going here?
Long-winded. 20-something minutes.
I'm sorry, guys, but I had to tell you because I drove through a freaking tree. Did you hear that?
That's nuts. That is nuts. I'm glad you were okay because what a scare, though.
It was like,
woof.
It was like, holy cow. Let's get to Todd.
I'm so excited. So I love following Todd on Instagram. He is probably one of the most self-deprecating, funny Instagram anti-influencers that you can come across.
He likes making fun of a lot of you guys.
Well, I mean, you gotta have that levity on. Like, you can't take yourself too seriously. So that is one thing we love about Todd.
He has a great sense of humor, and I think he can even take it too. He
can
give
absolutely.
He
can dish it and he can take it.
Right. So. Unlike some other people we know who can't take it. That's staying in there.
Just give him a look. Anyways, I mean, without further ado, let's get into Todd's episode.
All right, guys, enjoy Todd, and we'll catch up on what's going on in Erica's life after, if anything at all. But I don't think nothing is going to compare.
Not quite like driving through a tree.
Our next guest on the pod is someone you all brought to us. He makes some really awesome social media posts, and many of you have commented and shared them with us and said, get this guy on the pod. So it is our pleasure to have 26-point Todd Pikor, to the On the Runs podcast. Todd, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate everybody wanting me to be here. It's we'll see if it's worth it, right, for them, but I'm sure it will be. I'll do my best.
Well, we're definitely having a blast. I love your social media posts. They crack me up because mostly I'm the one who's like, I totally relate to these. And then you're like, these are lame.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh no, but it is an absolute pleasure. I get to see you 2 days in a row. I got to meet Todd yesterday for the first time. We both ran the, the Narragansett Running Festival 10K yesterday down in Easton, Mass. So it is super cool.
Confused with Narragansett, Rhode Island, which a lot of people.
I was going to ask, actually.
Honestly, I got confused like when Rachel was telling me about it, but it was the beer. So that was very, very good.
Let me
good.
ask then. So we're recording on Monday the 17th. Yesterday was the 16th. It rained all day. We had flash flood warnings. We had tornado warnings. And you guys had a race. What was the weather like?
It actually didn't rain there. Surprising, but I was checking the radar like a amateur meteorologist, and I think just where that race was, the rain wasn't. Where I left my house, which was west of there, it was raining a lot. So it just happened to be. I mean, it might as well have rained because it was like 147% humidity. Yeah. So, I mean, it was like you were covered in rain within a quarter mile. But no, I held off, and the after party I held off, and then by the time I got in my car and went home, it rained. So it worked.
Erica, do you know the Beeman score?
It was 241.
Oh, that is high. That is
and it
high.
was literally because of the humidity. It was bad.
Todd,
I'm not familiar
The
with
Beeman
that.
score, Mike Beeman, he's run 46 Boston marathons in a row. He has something called the Beeman score, the Beeman points. It is temperature, humidity, and dew point. And anything over 200 is pretty intense. And if you had a 241 Beeman
Wow.
score, that is extremely intense.
The higher it is, the more
I feel
uncomfortable.
validated that I went through it. I feel like every year that race is probably 250. So that makes sense.
I don't doubt it. But yeah, Rachel was telling me a little bit about it because she's been down a few times like yourself. And she said last year it was like full sun. So it's like, it's all a give and take. I was happy the sun wasn't out, but there was just nothing to absorb all that moisture. So it was just, you were swimming. You basically swam those laps.
And it used to be a 2-day event too. I don't know if she told you that. It used to be the 10K on Saturday and the half on Sunday. Then they changed it. Then actually yesterday, because of the weather, anyone scheduled for the half marathon got bumped down to the 10K because they couldn't guarantee there wasn't going to be thunderstorms and stuff. So you're actually, I think like 1,800 people were signed up, and then 1,100 ran 10K. So a lot of people didn't even show up.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Wow, that's some big numbers. But I mean, I got to give it to Jay. So the race director for this race is the same guy who does Anchor Down. So I saw him, I gave him a hug, said, "Hey, can't wait for Anchor Down." But I mean, I totally get the tough decision that he had to make. It's just, you want to be safe and you don't want to put people at risk. So, I mean, he still held an event, which was awesome. I mean, we drove all the way there. So we had some nice beers afterwards, and the rain held off for as long as it could. I thought he did a
great job explaining everything. And he's like, "Hey, if you want to contact somebody, contact me." And it's funny because I put up my post yesterday, and if you look on like the second picture, it's a picture of me like doing a selfie, and everybody's like, "Why is everybody so serious in the background?" Because if you look at everybody's face in the background, they're all like, but I think everybody was just intently listening to him. They weren't miserable. Everyone just thought they were miserable because of the weather. I mean, maybe that was a little bit, but it was a funny picture when you look at it. It just looks like everybody's at the start, like ready to die.
I think this is the one.
You got it there.
That's the one.
Yeah. No, I think it's the next.
Oh, well, I'm actually
that was an awesome picture, by the way.
Of the beer can
I'm okay. I'm actually on Run the Journey's Instagram there because I'm like, I know the selfie picture. She posted it. I saw it a few minutes ago. As I am back to normal life and living in internet and Wi-Fi, and I know what's going on after like a 2.5 week break, personal vacation.
You had a lot to catch up on, dude.
So you saw Erica, you saw Rachel, you also saw Nicole and Justine. Yep. How do you know the two of them?
I did.
I'm curious. You're down near Foxborough. They're up here in Manchester.
Right. It was all on Instagram. I couldn't even tell you when it started. I mean, I've known Chris for a while, Swaglock, if you follow him. And I think they all maybe just came around with him. Actually, I think I met Justine actually. There was like a meetup we did because usually I go to Boston every year. I feel like the welcoming committee, I don't run it, but I welcome people there. So there was like a Boston meetup we did at Hard Rock or one of those places. And it was just a bunch of Instagram people, and Justine was there. So I think I met her through there, and then just kind of by association. I don't really know when I met Nicole, but just kind of added on. And then I've been up there a few times to do races with Crystal and Zeke and Justine and Nicole and Chris. So Concord, Manchester, a couple other ones, I think. So it's been a lot of fun, friends with them. And I'm kind of the Massachusetts guy.
You're the mask guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm the mask guy. Yeah. They don't have anything nice to say about it, but they should. Right.
So you mentioned that you are from the Massachusetts area. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do, how you got into running in the first place?
I'm actually so I live in Mass. I've been back and forth here a couple times. I'm actually from upstate New York, near Albany, where my marathon's going to be in October. Kind of going back to the hometown. I've never done that race before.
That's a teaser.
Starts in my hometown. Yeah, I'm a pharmacist. I've been with the same company in pharmacy. So, I mean, like I say, I started when I was 16 years old. I was in high school and I got a job with CVS, just working the front store because I was tall. And I think they got me to hang signs in the window. And 34 years later, I'm still here. Or I'll be 34 pretty soon. So I work from home now doing insurance claims. And that's my work story. I've had one job. It's easy. And
How tall are you, by the way, to cut into that? Because Rachel goes, Todd's like 8 feet tall. You can't miss him. And then we saw you, and I was like, wow, you really are tall.
Yeah, it was probably 6'5" in reality, 6'6" when you see me with the shoes on. Right? So,
very nice.
Yeah. I got into running. I got into running just to be active. I didn't really start till I was 39, so this has been like a whole decade of running for me.
Okay.
Leading up to this, I think I did cross country in high school to get in shape for basketball, which if you think about it now, that doesn't really apply, but nobody really told me then that, those are two totally different planes of movement, and one wouldn't work for the other. But like, I didn't really care, and I couldn't even tell you what times I ran. I did it for a couple of years and that was it. But just trying to get back in shape and that kind of thing. And I actually tried 3 different times to start like a couch to 5K, but I just used whatever sneakers I had. Like, I'll just pick up these Nike cross trainers, whatever. They'll probably work, right? And I kept hurting my feet. And then I gave it one last try, and I was like, maybe this time I'll get running shoes. And
the key.
It was actually, it wasn't because of the marathon, but it was 2 days after the Boston Marathon bombings. That's why I remember it. It wasn't because of that, but it just happened to be the day I started. In fact, I didn't even know the Boston Marathon was that day, which is, I wasn't really into running, the community then. Of course, I found out. But then when I started that, and the running shoes worked, and been running ever since. So that's
very nice.
Then got on Instagram like 6 months later, and I mean, there's a few people that have been around since the beginning. There wasn't many then, but obviously it grew into this huge thing. But yeah, I mean, there's a few of us, kind of have this camaraderie, or that's like, we've been around for a while. Like, we see these reels and these get ready with me posts, and we're like, man, that wasn't back in our day.
Nope.
We used to post about the running journey and we loved it, and now it's like, and then now I just like mock it almost, but like I try to do it in a fun way.
I love it.
But
I do too.
I've been friends with for 10 years on there, which is amazing,
So Eric, does that mean that you had to really, really deep dive to find your picture that you're going to ask?
I didn't dive that deep. Today. We'll get to my random Instagram question later. It's a good one. I actually really like it. Nice. But let's go into, all right. So you started at 39 and you're on about a 10-year streak right now. Let's not go couch to 5K. Let's go to like, what was your first like big event you did, like a challenge, like a half marathon or a marathon, or what was one of your first big races that you finally trained for, and how was it?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me, like the first step was to get to like 6 miles, because I remember in cross country I ran 6 miles, and that was such a huge step for me. Like, I remember we had a trail by my house. It was 3 miles, each way, and I ran the 6, and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. So I finally trained for the Plattsburgh half marathon, which people sort of have this thing about, upstate New York. So like, there's New York City, and then upstate New York begins like, much higher. Like, if you're 5 miles now north of New York City, you're not in upstate New York. Don't confuse it. Where I live is upstate New York, but Plattsburgh is like by Canada, upstate New York. So that's
wow.
Like way up, middle of nowhere. But anyway, it's a great race. And that was March, I think, 2014. And just like, the fact that I could actually train for and run a half marathon was amazing. So I did it. It was actually one of the only races I've ever run that it rained, which I've been lucky, like 10 years. Even yesterday it didn't rain. But
knock on wood. Knock on wood.
It rained. And I still remember, so I ran, I was lucky. I ran under 2, maybe not lucky, but I ran under 2 hours. And I remember I was like hurt for like 3 weeks after. I was limping. I trained for it, and I remember like a news reporter was doing a news story at the Plattsburgh half marathon for the local station up there. And as she's talking, you can see me like in the background, like limping by her.
Oh, no.
So like, I don't have that recording anymore, but you could definitely see like there was physical proof of me limping, but it was just the fact that I had run that far and did it. It was pretty cool. So I still got some pictures of it, and it's always been a memorable race for me.
We'll have to contact that news station, be like, go back into the archives and find this video for us.
Yeah. Right. I think it was probably a Burlington, Vermont station, because that's where most of their stuff.
Why Plattsburgh? You're from Albany. You live here. I've been to Plattsburgh because I've had to referee college hockey up there. It is a drive. Like,
that's really far. Yeah.
What got you to do the Plattsburgh half?
I actually knew a girl on Facebook that was doing it, and it was I think just the timing of it, and I'd always wanted to go up there and see and check it out. And I think at the time for CVS, I was around then. At one point, I was in charge of all the stores in Vermont, so we had been going up there, and I knew about Plattsburgh, so I figured, why not try, like just an adventure. I mean, why would somebody adventure to Plattsburgh? Because there's really not much there, but yeah, just something new and different. So there was a good amount of people. I mean, 600-700 people. I mean, from that area, you come from 100 miles around. There's really nothing. So.
Erica, there's no easy way to get to Plattsburgh. You have to take a boat.
A boat?
If you're coming from Vermont, you do, yeah. Like where I lived, you can just take the north way. But like when I used to travel to Vermont for work, I would you drive up to, there's 3 spots in New York where you take the ferry across. So you'd have to drive on the ferry. And
unless you want to go.
That's kind of fun,
Unless you want to go like west through Vermont, there's that fort at the bottom of the river or something. There's a big fort, like the Ticonderoga Fort or something.
Oh, Fort Ticonderoga.
Thank you, Fort Tech. What? I'm not going to try it again. Yeah, no, I did that drive one time, and I'm like, I like the ferry, I like the break, but no easy way. I've made that drive a few times, so yeah.
Right. You got to be good with like Ticonderoga. You got to be good. I'm actually from Schenectady, so you got to be good with Indian names and upstate New York, because that's where they all kind of like emanate from. So I know a lot of people would have a hard time saying Schenectady normally, but that's where I'm actually from.
I only know Ticonderoga because it's a pencil, like a brand of pencil. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the only other place I've heard that. So not a good excuse.
It's a cool fort. We went there. We stopped to break up the trip. That was my Lake Placid trip when I randomly ran the Lake Placid half marathon. That was it. So
that's a race I wanted to do. It would look like it was pretty nice. Or Lake Placid's beautiful.
Oh, I love it up there. So I asked Erica to do some note taking for me because I've been really busy, and she told me you're a cat person.
Yeah, well, a cat. I don't know if I'm a cat person. I'm probably a cat person more than a dog person, but I do have a cat. Yes, or I should say we have a cat, depending on what day it is. It's my wife's cat or my cat, but
okay, Rachel told me about it, and I was like, well, I already knew I liked you from your Instagram account and actually meeting you in person, but the fact that you have a cat just like solidified it for me. I have a couple of cats, and
I don't know. Can I say this? She's kind of a bitch.
Oh yeah, say whatever you want.
Right. She likes 3 people in this world, like me, my wife, my son, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. If you come over and visit, she's not interested. In fact, she's pissed that you're there.
Can I say this? The same thing about my cat. My cat doesn't attack me, actually. I don't know why, but she attacks my wife all the time. And I'm downstairs watching something, and I just hear Ashley, because the bedroom's right up above the living room. She just starts yelling, Miles! And I can hear her like kick or stomp or something. And like, what is Miles trying to do? Funny, Miles is a boy name, obviously. The guy who got us our cat around COVID is the guy I worked with. And he goes, here's a cat. Here's Miles. It's a boy. We're like, okay. And Miles is like 1 week old enough to go live at a house. So I don't know what that is. Is that 2 months or is that 3?
What, like 9 weeks?
So long story short, Miles was not a boy.
Oh, wow.
You went to go neuter it and you couldn't?
I think his sister's cat had kittens. I think he went to go get the cat that he thought was Miles and grabbed the wrong cat and brought the cat to us.
Oh, wow.
I go, Donnie.
They probably all look the same at that point.
Right. They totally do. Like, Donnie, this is not a boy cat.
What the hell,
whatever.
Donnie?
So it's a funny story. I like going back to it.
Yeah, I was trying to get dirt on you from Rachel. I was like, what do you know about him that we can ask him on the podcast? So she gave me some talking points.
That was really the first time I had seen Rachel at a race in Concord, I think, but we had said hi and the race was starting, and that was it. Like,
that was it?
Talk. So yesterday,
you guys seemed like you were good friends.
Yeah. Well, I think, when you're on here for so long, you actually are friends with these people. Like, I know more about these people than my real friends. So, and then when you meet them, it's just kind of like you've known each other all along, even though, I've probably followed Rachel for 6-7 years. She's been on here for a while. So
you've probably known her longer than I have. Well, that's probably not around the same. When did I meet her? 2016? How many years was that? 7-ish? Yeah. So we're right about the
quick
same.
on the math there. So a little segue from our cats being bitches to bike bitches. Erica sent me a note about bike bitches. What is a bike bitch? Because I like to go on the bike.
Well, you know what? I actually it's in the Urban Dictionary, and I put it there, by the way. So in case you look it up, I'm the one who put it
for
in
real.
Love it.
I did. Yeah. It says like it'll say like my code name is Rail Splitter 17. That's like another weird story, but anyway, I was the one who put it in there. Yeah. Well, this whole thing about everybody's got to get their bike bitch to film them for video content now. So you can't just it's hard to hold the phone and run, or, taking still pictures on Instagram isn't in anymore because nobody really likes them. They all like video with tips that everybody's heard 100 times, like run slow to run fast.
And now there's Threads. What the heck is Threads?
Yeah, it's just,
don't do
just
the
more.
Threads.
Just more. Yeah.
Twitter. It's Twitter for Instagram. Twitter, don't do it.
But yeah, you got to like any post gets elevated if you have your bike bitch and there's just a video of you running, So I don't have a bike bitch, but a lot of people do.
So it's like the influencers in the wild, and you have the picture of them, and then the behind the scenes is the boyfriend taking the photo. The boyfriend's the bike bitch, your photo bitch.
Right.
So you,
I've actually seen like twice removed. I've seen like a bike bitch filming a person just so they can show how do they do it?
Bike bitchception. So that's what it is.
Right. It looks so odd to see it you see this person running and you see a guy following them with a stick, or you see like their wife like on a bike. It just looks so odd to actually watch.
I actually took a photo of my wife taking a photo of my daughter in front of those butterfly wings last week. We were at a gas station outside Santa's Village, and there's butterfly wings on the side of the gas station, and the wings are made to look like a pizza. And I'm in the car watching them take it, and I just took my phone out and the picture. I'll post that because I'm like, oh, this is funny. This is something I'll talk about. I felt like, okay, I was a bike bitch there. Actually, no. I was the bike bitch taking the picture of the bike bitch.
Right, you were. Yeah. But I've applied it to other things now. Like I saw somebody running on a track the other day, and somebody was filming them from up above, and I'm like, oh, it's a track bitch. Or now people have they have
drone bitch.
It's not drone bitch.
God.
You can't have drones in the air, and it's out of control. I mean,
I don't have enough money for this. Where do I will somebody volunteer to be like my bike bitch? Actually, Newt, you've done it for me before.
All the time.
That one time I was running a virtual marathon, and I was hobbling my way through it, and you were riding your bike with me.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah,
that was a couple of years ago. COVID year.
How do you put that in Urban Dictionary? Is that like Wikipedia where anyone can add anything?
Yeah, I just did it. I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't that complicated. Yeah, so I just made an account and I added it, and then it stayed in there. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't think that would work.
Kudos to you. That's a legit thing. That's everybody has that.
Tell me about the code name, the account name there you have, the story.
Oh, the rail splitter. Yeah, it is funny. So my I got a lot of weird things from and I still do fantasy football with this guy, and we still have jokes that nobody would understand. Just a high school friend of mine, and we used to play those I don't even know if it was WWF then, WWE wrestling games. For probably Super Nintendo or something back then. Now the games are too complicated, and we would just talk stupid and pretend we were certain wrestlers and make moves. And he was I can't remember the name of the wrestler he was, but it was like a train conductor, and his signature move was the rail splitter. So it was just something we made up, and then for some reason that stuck with me. And then ever since I needed a username for anything, it's always rail splitter. So he doesn't even remember saying that, but for 30 years I remember him saying that. So, yeah, I don't know. That's where rail splitter came from, and it's just it's always my thing.
Nice.
Now that I know you can add things to Urban Dictionary, I'm like, oh, what can I do? What can I? I've never really been on there probably since a long time. I can't tell you.
Do Code Brown. See if Code Brown's in Urban Dictionary.
Or we'll throw on the runs
That'll be
on there.
Your
what
thing.
does on the runs mean for runners?
I a couple of times. I had to look at something the other day. I saw somebody post something. I can't remember what it was, and I was like, "What is that?" And I can't remember what it was at this point. But sometimes just the lingo,
In the Urban Dictionary.
I mean,
kids these days.
Yeah, my son's teen years, and he says something. I'm like, what? And so I gotta look it up and try it on the side because I want to be cool,
When people are like, "That's sus," I was like,
"Oh, that's
sus." Yeah,
you use that, yeah.
I don't understand half of this shit, and I have to secretly Google. I'm totally with it. I know what you're talking about.
I told them the other day I have a lot of drip. Have you heard that? A lot of drip. Yeah.
I remember this is going a little probably not inappropriate. X-rated. I remember. You ever heard of Greg in the Morning Buzz? I remember when Laura on Greg in the Morning Buzz was yelling all these things like, give me this and give me that. And there was one, whatever it's called, when you fart under and you take the bed sheets and throw them over the head. What's that one called? Like a
Dutch oven.
And she goes, give me this
yeah.
and give me a Dutch oven. And then she goes, I want a donkey punch and I want it now. And I'm like, what is a donkey punch? And I remember when I Urban Dictionary that one, I was like, whoa.
Right.
So,
yeah, there's lots of interesting things on there.
Oh no.
Boy.
Danger.
Everyone's going to be like Googling right now. What is a donkey punch? I'm sorry if you're doing it right now. And then you're like, Eric, oh my God.
Google at your own risk. Urban Dictionary at your own risk.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking about, okay, so your kind of thing and your vibe is you're like, you make fun of people, or you want to make fun of the influencers or the people on Instagram and the reels. You're like a anti-influencer, but at the same time, you're making like hilarious content on social media.
Yeah, I mean, it's never directed at one person. It's just meant for everybody to like laugh at like what the things we're doing and take a step back at it. Because I think a lot of times everybody takes running too seriously. I mean, we're just doing this as a fun hobby. I mean, for 99% of us. So once in a while, I'll get a comment for somebody who thinks, and I'm like, man, just look at my profile. It's like I've been doing these jokes for years. You know what I mean? So. I have one reel that keeps like getting not reposted, but like keeps getting views about like I took some video of the Boston Marathon and it was like the women, it was Emma Bates stuff. And I had this quote in the background, but people like post these quotes, like they're doing like bicep curls and they're doing these quotes like, and I said like, it's just running. It's not the War of 1812. Like they're not, people put these quotes like it's so dramatic. And I'm like, you're just in your basement doing bicep curls, man. And you got the heat on. And you're wearing and you're going running in alpha flies. Like, let's not make this more than what it is. You're trying to. So I just try to like put a funny light on things and not make it too serious. I mean, I'm obviously very goal focused like everybody else, but can't take it too serious. I think
I think we need more people. We need more people like you on the internet, just because like it is. People do take it too seriously, and you need to bring a little levity, or else you're just not going to enjoy yourself anymore. Like, I don't know. That's why I like your page. It's just, It gives a little humor. It kind of takes your mind off stuff. Like, yes, you could put in a lot of work, but in the end, you just got to enjoy yourself and have fun. Like,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I see people miss like an interval time or,
it's not the end of the world.
This whole thing with like heart rate training, their heart rate is too high in a run, and I mean they're going crazy, and it's like I don't even know what my heart rate is. I don't like when I run. I think my point like I'm going to run 4 miles, so I just run 4 miles. I don't really even think about it. Couldn't tell you what my cadence was. I couldn't tell. All I want to know is like how far did I go and how long did it take. So a lot of times people ask me if I have a goal for my race. Like in the marathon, I probably would because it's a bigger race. But like yesterday, like I don't know. I'm just going to run as fast as I can. And see how it goes. I didn't really, and then I'm not tied to anything. And then I think I did pretty good. And then that's it. So it wasn't like, as long as I do the best I can, then that's all I can ask.
Definitely.
Well, let's talk about the one that got our attention, that people started commenting and sharing and saying, hey, one person wrote, get this guy on a podcast. And then like 3 or 4 people all sent it to me within minutes. It is the one.
Yeah.
I'm going to let it get back to the beginning because it's playing and.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of that, you wore that tank top yesterday, I think, right?
I did wear that tank. Yeah, well, I figured that would be a good tank top for, yeah. Right. I know, you get to see me. Actually, you saw me without a shirt yesterday, too.
And this part,
running
this part right here where you're like,
Right. No. Well, have you seen? I mean, like you see this a lot, and like people, it's this whole "get ready with me" thing now, and everybody like throws their clothes on the bed, and then they're in the bathroom, and you watch them in the mirror, and they're putting deodorant on. Like I don't want to watch anybody put deodorant on, and they're doing their face, and in some cases, women doing makeup, and guys putting their skincare on, and it's like, I can't believe people are into this, but it's like it's just growing and growing and growing, and so I have to like, or brushing their teeth, like I'm like. Why would you bring people into your home and do that? Now, of course, I just did the same thing. I'm like not doing the same thing, but I'm doing it.
But you did it in a funny way.
That was
right.
This isn't real.
The comments, the reactions.
And people are like getting ready for running, and they're dancing. Like, who dances before? Like, I'm not even awake. Like, people are just dancing. So I just tried to like take everything I could and like politely mock it. You know what I mean? And then at the end, I didn't have a bike bitch, so I couldn't bring anybody with me on my run. So that's why I waved bye to my phone.
What is your routine then? If you say you're not even awake, what's your running routine? Are you an early morning runner, or do you have to do it around work?
No, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I shouldn't say I'm not awake, I guess, but you know, I think I got to ease into the day. I usually wake up between 4:30 and 5. So I have my basement, I call the dungeon. If you've ever seen pictures of it, or I usually
the red
we'll
dungeon.
Get there.
Yeah, the red dungeon. It's really just there's just red light bulbs down there, and it's just like a scary looking basement look, you know. But it's just like a full gym down there. So a lot of times I'll lift, and then I go to Orange Theory a lot, so I'll do that. Like it's about less during marathon season, so that's like, you know, dungeon is red light, Orange Theory's orange. That's why I have like the little colors on my thing, and running is purple. I pick those colors. And so a lot of times I'll do 2 out of 3 in a day. Like it's hard to do all 3, and it's probably too much. But like today, I just did Orange Theory. It was my 700th class.
Congrats!
So.
Is that
congratulations?
Is that worthy of a congrats? 700.
I think it's a lot. Yeah, it's almost 2 years ago, right? I mean, like if you add up the days.
Okay, how long have you been doing that?
Yeah.
What is Orange Theory?
I've been a member
I see it everywhere, but I never gone to one.
Yeah, it's a combination of treadmills, so running, rowing, and weights, and then they just give you different workouts. Like there's the same workout all across the country each day, and then, you know, the workout's different every day. So, you know, as I've gotten older, you know, drinking a lot less, you know, it's like harder to make friends when you're working at home all day. Plus I live in a different state. So, you know, I've sort of transitioned from the bar to like, or going out to like now my social activity is like in that plaza. So there's Starbucks and Orange Theory. Those are like all my friends are there.
Life complete.
So it's
yeah. So it's everything I need in my life. So that's what I do. I go to Orange Theory, I go to Starbucks.
And as we learned, it's Starbucks. Don't go to Dunks. You got to go to Starbucks.
Oh, no. You know, Dunkin' used to be good. Like if you go back 10 years, but they got, you know, you can't do too many things, and you can't be good at everything. You know what I mean? Like you look at a place like Five Guys, right? It's the same every time.
Burgers and fries.
Good. Always burgers and fries.
Boom.
Dunkin' Donuts, donuts and coffee is fine. Like they can't make avocado toast. And then it gets all messed up. They can't even get your order right. So Starbucks is just, you know what? I get it. They know my name. The order's right.
So wait, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't go to either. But is Starbucks where it's like, it's not a large, it's a latte or something?
A venti or something?
Yeah, it's well, you got tall, grande, venti, Trenta. That's pretty good, huh?
Nice.
So if you've noticed on my page too, like, and I don't know when this started, I became like the pumpkin spice latte spokesperson for all of Instagram. So every year,
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah.
We know that you're like the Starbucks guy. I heard a little bit of a basic bitch.
yeah.
But so PSL all the way.
So if you actually scroll back in my post, I've dressed in leggings and like a flannel and pumpkins, and you'd have to scroll back a couple of years for that. But
do you have the UGG boots though?
I have UGG slippers.
Oh, well, that'll count. Sure.
I'm actually wearing UGG slippers.
Hey, Tom Brady wears UGG, so they're obviously cool.
I have the cheap version. I have the bear paws, so those are still comfortable.
Yeah, they are comfortable. But I don't know where that started. But then every year I get tagged like when pumpkin spice latte comes out. So it's always the last Tuesday in August, in case you're wondering, August 29th. I get tagged like 100 times. It's like obnoxious. And then just everybody just starts tagging. And so every year it became this thing. And it's already started. Like anytime somebody sees something pumpkin, they tag me. So I actually got one today that somebody, you know, because it's already starting to show up in stores. Like people see like creamer or.
It's too soon.
Now, some people get mad. They're like, I'm going to block you for, you know, stop, like just don't make summer, like don't push summer away. But, you know, they keep putting this stuff out sooner and sooner.
Damn pumpkin shit. Mm-mm.
August 29th, and I know it's 1973 because last year on your birthday, you were in 19.73 miles. Let's get back into the running, though. You told us your first half marathon. Yeah. This is us. We go so off the tracks. We haven't been talking about running. I love it. Yeah. You told us about your first half marathon. What about your first marathon, and how'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, my marathons have, you know, well, first of all, let me say I'm always very, like, I have a lot of gratitude that even I'm able to do this. And they're like, right now I'm training and it's going well. Because, like, I'm 3 for 7 in marathon training. Like, knock on wood if this goes well. So, and I've hurt myself. Like last year, I stepped on a sidewalk and sprained my ankle, and
Damn
I
sidewalk.
hurt my knee. Oh, so yeah, I know. It's the only time I ever fell running. I wasn't paying attention, and I just like hit the curb run. Anyway, but yeah. So my first marathon was that training cycle was 2017, and I did a wine glass marathon in upstate New York, in Corning, New York.
A theme.
And that was that wasn't like intention. It's funny because my second one was in Indianapolis, so that kind of strays from the theme. But yeah, I mean, it was a memorable race for a lot of reasons, but just being able to do it. And my time was 4 hours, 4:00:40. So of course, the second time I did it, I had to you got to go sub 4. So that became like a big theme to go under 4 hours. And then 2021, I did Indianapolis, and I was 3:58. So.
Congratulations. That's excellent.
Well, that's why I always say, well, that's another thing. I mean, I guess I keep thinking of all these things I've done over the years, but like everybody knows that I'm like the 2033 Boston Marathon guy. I've been saying that for years.
The damn age groups. Yeah. The qualifying times are ridiculous. I cannot. It's even worse for the men. I have to say it. It's ridiculous.
It's going to be, I mean, I'll be 50 in like 6 weeks, but it's 3:25. Like I can't. That's
so
let's be
fast.
realistic. Like I work hard, I do, but 3:25 is just not.
Mine's a 3:05 right now. I'm not even there. No, I'll never. If I ever do it, I need like Dave to give me a bib, or I need to fundraise, and
earn it.
Yeah, I'm scared of having to fundraise $10,000, Todd. I don't want to do.
That's harder than
running.
Right,
it's harder than running. And then just to have something like what Tara Watt had, she raised the money, and then she got so injured she didn't even get to really, let's just say, enjoy it. She did it, but then it needed major. I don't know if you know Tara, but she basically was 3 weeks before the marathon. She needed major back surgery. And
I actually raised money for like $1,000 for a race at Fenway. They have like a 9K every year at Fenway. It's in July. It was a few years back, but they run it. It ends in Fenway Park. I got injured before that race, and I raised the money, and I never went. Then after that, I was like, I ain't raising money.
Had enough, yeah.
And that was only like I think it was $900. Much less Boston. So I give credit to anybody who does that.
It's just extra stress. I mean, you have to worry about your training too, and it's just. I had to do it, and it's sleepless nights, like honestly, because you are responsible for whatever money you don't raise. That's going on your credit card.
Right. This was before like Erica and I even ran together. We were just friends from college, and she's like, every week it's like, hey, I'm doing a fundraising event, one at Margarita's. Hey, everyone come to the Monarchs game and buy a ticket through me, and I need everyone to come to this event.
Let me annoy you some more with my posts about fundraising. Like you guys haven't seen enough of it. Here's some more.
And I can see why people get aggressive with it. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. It is.
I think what Sarah...
So I appreciate everybody, everybody tuning in and humoring me by listening to all my posts. Because it's just, so much stress.
I like what Sarah Halleck did. She hosted a comedy night, and that got over half her funds. I think it was well over half. So... she had to put it all together and advertise for the comedy night, but instead of posting like, hey, donate to me, a lot of it was come to my comedy night, buy a ticket, come to my comedy night, had it months in advance so you could put it on the calendar. And it was a great night.
Wow.
That's fun.
That's a good idea. Yeah, you got to be creative with it.
So Erica for sure is creative. She found every way she could. So, all right. We're a storytelling podcast, and you might have some stories for us as far as running goes, but I got a little bit of dirt, a little bit of juice on you. I want to hear about, the year might be off, but the 2021 Shamrock Half Marathon. I'm assuming it's the one in Manchester, but might be a different one.
Is this where I
showered? In the shower.
It's kind of weird. I don't know how many people would get shit for showering like after a race. Like, isn't that what you do? Like yesterday, I could have used a shower after the race because we were gross.
Right now, this isn't sounding like much of a story. Like, you shower.
Well, yeah, but it continues on. Like, I went up to that race at Shamrock. It was Justine, Chris, Crystal, Zeke, I think. Mm-hmm. Me and Justine got a great picture from that race too, by the way, because they used to start you in like 2-person, like because it was like COVID, so it was like 2-person. And we got a picture of us high five. It was a great picture, one of the best pictures. But so I stayed in a hotel because obviously Manchester's not near me, and it's near all them. So like after the race, I'm like, I got to check out of my hotel. So I showered and showed up, and they were at some bar next to wherever the race ended. And that's like all I heard was like, "Oh, you showered," and they're like, "Oh, you put on your J. Crew clothes, or why do you?" And like to this day, it's like, "Oh, is Todd gonna? Oh, it's after the race. Todd, you gonna go shower?" Even yesterday, I think Nicole and Justine were like, "Where's the showers, Todd? Gonna go in and get ready?" Like, I'm like, "I'm the clean one, and you guys are the dirty ones. And you're making fun of me." So
I guess it makes sense if you're the only clean one and everybody else is dirty. That makes you the odd guy out. But yeah.
But I mean, if you're staying in a hotel and you're going back to your room to check out, like, why would I want to just be gross? So yeah, it's funny the picture. It's like they're all wearing their race shirts, and then there's me. Like, I think I actually wore more than sweatpants that day, so it was like jeans and like the vest, not the hoodie, but like the vest. I don't know. It's just.
Did you even run, bro?
You know what, Todd?
I did.
They were just jealous. They were jealous you got to take a shower, and because they couldn't, they had to team up against you. And they were just jealous. That's what it had to be.
That's usually what happens. Our group chats are very very animated. It's a bit bad in there. It's bad, but it's fun.
To be a fly in that group chat.
Oh my God, it's awful.
That's like me thinking of Nicole and Ron.
Oh my God.
They're very
our short little group chat before we had Ron on the pod. Like, holy cow, I think Erica had tears crying between just we're a fly on the wall between Nicole and Ron.
Yeah. Me and Nicole go at each other a lot, but we know it's for fun, but we can just keep prodding each other.
I always say I wouldn't do it if I didn't like you.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. And I know I can say anything, and they'll be fine with it. I mean, I can actually say anything. Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Especially, I can say more with them than I can with a lot of other people. Let's put it that way.
Well, on this pod, you can say whatever you want, man. I'm not.
Excellent. Yeah.
Let them hear it. What else you got? What other stories? Like, surprise us with one or two. Do you have a story of like you talked about the sidewalk? You talked about the shower. Yeah. No pressure.
Well, this is sort of I don't know if it's a. Well, you were talking about the run streak before, right? So
before you jumped on, Erica.
So they had the Chicago. They used to have the. After this, I'm not like in general like rock and roll marathons, rock and roll half marathons. They're no good. They're that company is. I'm not going to promote them on here. They're crooked. Anyway, they're just not good.
I've done a couple of their races. It's been a while though. 2019,
they had the rock and roll Chicago half marathon. They've since like disbanded that race and they don't have it anymore. In fact, I have the funniest medal from there. It's the weirdest medal. Like I couldn't even keep the shirt. It was so bad. It was like a hot dog. It was like a big hot dog playing a saxophone. It's the weirdest medal I've ever seen. I'm like, who thought of that design? It's so odd. But the race itself was fun. They had canceled the 5K like the day of because they said it was too hot and a lot of people got mad and they wouldn't give people refunds or anything. It was but it wasn't like Manchester where it was like legit. I think it was just kind of like they were unorganized. But we ran the half marathon. That was the end of my run streak, day 2:45. I hurt my toe. I'm not even sure how I hurt my toe because I was fine throughout the race. And then I don't know if it was before Uber or I just wasn't smart enough, but like I could barely walk, but I was just limping. And I remember like I had to walk like 2 miles back to my hotel. And I don't know why, but everybody with me, like nobody offered to like drive me back to the hotel. Like they're like, I'll see you later. And I'm just assholes. Limping and it's starting to rain. And I'm like, oh my God, these people suck. And then what happened was like the people I went with, they were coming from different areas and they all had to leave and my flight wasn't until the next day. So I was there alone. So one guy was like, listen, you need to get some deep dish tonight and you need to go to, I think it was Stan's Donuts in Chicago. Like it's like famous for their donuts. So I'm like, all right, that's the only thing that's going to make me feel better. So again, I'm limping because why I didn't get a car, I don't know. So I did get the deep dish pizza, which was good. And Stan's was like, another 2 miles away. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to limp there. I'm going to get some Stan's because like, this is the only thing that's going to make me feel better. I walk all the way there throughout the streets of Chicago, not even knowing where I am. Chicago's not the safest place. And I get there and they literally have 0 donuts. None. And I just stood there like, you have none? And they're like, we don't have any. And I'm like, oh my God. Why? I just like, I almost broke my foot. Like, why? I mean, it was later in the day. Maybe it was like going to Dunkin's at 6 o'clock. I just figured like they're open. They should have donuts, right?
Yeah.
It was just, that walk back was just so sad. I was just like, oh my God.
Oh no.
Because it was July. I was hurting. My run streak was over. I was pissed. and I was just like, screw this, so that's just kind of a random story I thought
What
off the top of my
toe
head.
was it?
It was my big toe, like my right big toe. I don't
If
know.
it's your big toe or your pinky toe, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened to it. And then it just got better. But I mean, maybe a week later, but it was probably overused too. I mean, running all those days.
That was a good one. Nice job coming in clutch there. I put you on the spot and you came in clutch with the story.
I do have a lot of just like random things that happen to me that, you just think of and that they're funny. So whether it's life or
if you
running.
think of another one, you could let me know, but let's get to a few more of these talking points Erica gave me. Thank you, Erica, for the awesome notes.
Okay.
I tried.
All right. Nobody cares. Work harder.
That's just something I saw somewhere, which a lot of people have attributed me to that quote, and it's very flattering that they do that. I didn't come up with it. I should have made money on it. I didn't. That shirt I got was from a company that I did with the podcast last time, and they made shirts out of it, and they sold out of those shirts 7
I'm just
going to
say we could make shirts.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a T-shirt. I actually have 3 different Nobody Cares Work Harder shirts. So a lot of times I'll abbreviate it.
I need one. That's awesome.
NCWH. So actually, if you see, I made a post today about like how I was like in pain this morning when I woke up, and it was just a funny poll. So it was like, well, why am I in pain? I'm like, because I ran a 10K yesterday, or I busted my ass with a 10K. I'm old, both, and one was Nobody Cares Work Harder. And guess what?
Nobody cares work harder.
Nobody cares work harder.
I love it. And
it's not meant to be for anybody who watches this. I had somebody kind of come after me for that comment, and they kind of felt it meant like to isolate yourself from the community and that nobody cares about your progress. It wasn't that. It was just about like making excuses. And
yeah,
a lot of times people, I think it's funny because I'll also sort of mock this, but a lot of people, will run a race and then all of a sudden like their magic toe injury comes up after, or they, it was too hot, or, a lot of people offer too much information. They had all these bathroom stops. That's another topic I can get into. Like, I'm not interested in your bathroom stops, what mile they are and what emoji they are. Like, and there's all like, just, like yesterday. I mean, we all had to run in the same shit, right? We all had to run in the same heat. So no excuses.
I want to hear about the bathroom stops.
I got that from my dad. Like, just no excuses.
I think we're different. We only want to hear them if they went badly.
No. Tell us about the bad bathroom stops. All right. When Erica told me you have a basement you called the Red Dungeon, the first thing that popped in my mind was that's got to be out of 50 Shades of Grey. It's got to be like one of those rooms in 50 Shades of Grey. What do you got going on in the Red Dungeon there?
I know. I've gotten comments about that. There's nothing but weightlifting going on down there. I can assure you that. Where I kind of got the idea from the red lights were from. If you've ever seen, there's Orange Theory. I've never been to one, but Barry's Boot Camp. Have you ever heard of it? It's like a chain of like it's like wicked expensive Orange Theory, but they're like in boutique places. They're like in LA, Boston.
A little bougie.
Yeah, it looks really cool in there. It's like all red lights, and I thought, that'd be a cool look. So it's really just 2 red light bulbs, like everybody.
Aren't red lights supposed to be like, I don't know, they affect your mood somehow? I'm probably just making that up.
Yeah, it was just meant to be like a serious thing, like just like this is where we do the work. This is the pain cave. So
I see.
But we're thinking of redoing the basement, and I told them not to touch that part. I want to leave it as dungeony as possible.
I thought
you're used to it.
I thought it had to do with heat. Like maybe it was some type of like infrared light, red light, and you like to lift weights and work out and get like a sweat quicker or something. So I'm thinking, okay, this guy's like working the sauna while lifting the weights at the same time. But
no. I'm always cold. The sauna would help. But,
so it's not a sauna and it's
actually,
not a sex
story,
dungeon, is what we determined.
It isn't. It is not. It is not for anybody listening. One funny thing is I can't redo that room too because I have a treadmill down there, and the ceiling they can't. There's no way to build the ceiling that my head wouldn't go right through it because I'm pretty much like scraping the insulation as it is. So there's really no way to like put a ceiling. So
there's no like plywood, not plywood, drywall. There's no drywall. You're kind of running in between the rafters and just touching that.
Yeah, like it's like I mean, because there's no.
We got to imagine.
I mean, the deck between the deck is too high.
You're like Zdeno Chara.
I had to do that for mine.
You got to imagine because you're already 6'5", you're 6'6" in the running shoes. You're on a treadmill that's an easy 8 inches off the ground. Like you're easily 7 feet 3 inches high already.
Right.
Nice
Actually,
math.
Erica, somebody saw our picture today and was like, some guy I kind of just met on Instagram. He's like, he messaged me. He's like, how the hell tall are you? Because I think maybe people don't realize it, but he didn't notice it till he saw the picture of me and Rachel. So
right,
I
get to see this. Where's this photo?
I'm 5'9". Oh, he just posted it today, I think, right?
Todd
but
posted it. Okay.
I am 5'9". So you're 6'5", 6'6". Rachel, I think, is like 5'2".
I gotta see this. I'm looking it up.
I don't even know how tall Rachel is, but she's every time her and I take pictures together, I have to stand like way back so we don't look super weird next to each other. I'm so much taller than
oh my God. Wow. Look at that. Hold on. That is
dun, dun, dun.
That is a big difference.
Yeah.
But hold on. I want to go that photo. So you're leaning down on this one with Justine and Nicole. Like,
yeah,
that is a prescription for having back pain and stuff when you're always leaning down.
Right. Yeah. That's why I lift weights.
Yeah.
It was the hardest part of that race yesterday. Actually, was like we sat on the ground like at the post race thing to drink our beer or whatever, and like just getting back up, we were all like, "Oh my God!" Like for me, and Justine was like, "That's a long way down for you, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
Nice.
I love this photo of you, Rachel, and the two of you and Rachel. I love this photo. That's an awesome photo. Let me ask you.
Did she send you the one with my eyes closed? Which one did you post?
I don't think your eyes were. No, I thought you were.
That's squinty.
She had a couple
squinty.
of good ones. But one of them I legit was like had my eyes.
Obviously,
closed.
everything about Rachel in this photo is probably perfect.
Her and I matched. She eventually put on a sparkle skirt.
Yep, you have the
her
same
and I totally
everything.
matched.
Yeah,
even to the visor.
Her outfit choices are unbelievable.
So when people see you at these races, are they like, "Oh, hey, Todd"? Are they yelling out to you, or you just like normal acquaintance? Because you got pictures with a lot of people here.
No, I usually get comments like, "Oh, you're easy to find," or things like that.
I might have been guilty of that one. Yeah.
We just sort of ran into each other like walking up and down the same path because you got to go back and forth to your car, so that was lucky. But yeah, I mean, usually I'm just easy to find in a crowd, I guess.
I want to ask about your tattoos in these pictures. So you have 3 tattoos on your chest, and I'm assuming because there's a bunch of Roman numerals, there's meaning to these. So one of them looks like a flame, another one is a heartbeat maybe, and a couple trees.
Yeah, you probably would the other third. So the first one, I guess in order of the way I got them. So I used to have some heart arrhythmia problems or atrial fibrillation, if you're familiar. So, and I don't want to say running cured it because I don't know that it ever goes away. But I used to go into a regular heartbeat a lot, and I still take meds, but I either had to get cardioverted, which means they have to like shock it back into rhythm, not like you'd see on TV, but like it's a more gentle way to do it. But anyway, and a lot of that was just probably due to like inactivity and doing my job. I was working all the time. I was management, so I was working, driving everywhere. And ever since I got into running, like I haven't had it happen. So, it's atrial fibrillation beat going into regular heartbeats. That was the meaning to that. And my son's date of birth was under it. And then the torch one was just I've always loved Survivor. I've always wanted to be on the show. Unfortunately,
you would be good.
Show, but that would be a great.
You'd be great.
Yeah, it would be good. Yeah, but like Survivor to me is like a show. Like I could that's the total meaning of like life and like how to live life is all summed up in that show. It's like work relationships, people relationships. To me, it's amazing. But so the torch kind of symbolizes like life and how to live it. So I got the Survivor torch, and then there was my date of birth, and then the last one was. The 3 trees were from the movie poster, The Place Beyond the Pines.
No.
I've never heard of it, but had a lot of good actors and actresses. It had like Bradley Cooper. It had.
So it's probably recent then.
Yeah, Ray Liotta. It had. There's 2 other big ones, and I can't even think of their names. Like, anyway, it was filmed in Schenectady. So, and The Place Beyond the Pines is like a loose translation of what Schenectady means. The movie wasn't that great. But it's kind of cool that they filmed the movie in your hometown. So the trees were from that poster, and then the house number I grew up in was on the Roman numerals there.
I like that.
Are those the only tats?
That's it. Yeah, I have like a 4th one planned if I ever. Well, no, when I run the Boston Marathon
in 2033,
on or before 2033, and then that's it.
Is that the goal? Because it's just because of the age group. part. That was why. That was why.
Group,
that was why.
Yeah. It's like they're like, knock on wood, I can still run them, but then it's like 340. Like maybe I could do it. I mean, who knows? Like if I'm 60 years old, how much I'll be running, but
you'll still be going.
So.
You'll be celebrating 20 years because you just celebrated 10. I don't want to. I want to know though, how does one go about trying to get on Survivor? Because we actually have a guest coming up. He's tried to get on to reality shows, and I know others who have tried too, and they thought they were a lock because of like some type of disability or something, right? But it's how does one get on a show like that? And have you tried?
I mean, a long time ago. You remember when? The fact that people don't even, like Survivor's still on. It's been on since 2000. But I mean, I used to send in like a VHS tape and write things. I think a lot of it's, I'm sure, it's political. It made me a little mad when I'd watch Survivor and they'd have like Jimmy Johnson was on one year, the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, that's
Cowboys quarterback coach, and they had like, like former basketball player. I'm like, just leave it for like the regular guys. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, like when you see the stories people have, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm interesting enough for that. Like, yeah, I run and I got a good job, but like I don't have like this amazing like save the earth kind of thing. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's why they pick you, right? You got to have like a hook. They gotta.
Yeah,
and
it's hard when they
grab you somehow.
When they don't meet you in person. I think if you're sending in a tape or something.
Yeah,
you got to imagine there's probably thousands of tapes.
Oh my God!
But you said VHS tape, so you've been trying for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't tried recently, but yeah, it was just a nice dream,
Maybe someday. Keep going. We had a guy.
Yeah,
we had a guy who tried to get on the cover of Muscle and Fitness magazine, and the picture was of him passed out after an ultra marathon with a pizza on his belly.
Legend.
Oh wow! How did that work?
So there was a vote to like, hey, get your picture on the cover of Muscle and Fitness magazine, and you could donate money to get extra votes and everything. And he was like in the lead for quite a while. It was like a bracket challenge or something, and he came in second in his bracket. He came so close, and it's like, imagine
he made it to what, like the semifinals or something. Like he went the distance, not all the way, but he did.
You got to
well.
imagine though, at some point, Muscle and Fitness is like, no, we can't have this photo, and so like the politics come into play, like you said, and they'll.
I would love to see that picture on Runner's World magazine, because that's like, especially this is like the rise of the ultra running world, like because you have Courtney Dauwalter just friggin' destroying races here and there. And like, I don't know, it's up and coming.
Erica, I think you should start an ultra running magazine, and that could be your first edition. Put the picture of Neil and Pizza Gut on it.
My first and only edition.
Somehow, right? Yeah.
Let's just do like an On the Runs magazine, and we'll just like put pictures of all the stuff that we talk about. A zine.
So Todd, you live in the Foxborough area. You're from upstate New York. You are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but you're wearing a Boston Red Sox hat. Explain this to me.
That's true. I think the Boston. I don't mind I'm actually a Pirates fan, so. But I can roll with the Red Sox. So like I can go to Red Sox games. I can like when I was here, I lived here from 2004 to 2009, and then I was back in New York and then back here. Like so, I was here when the Red Sox finally won their World Series, and I was just like. How could you not be a fan?
Right.
I mean, that was stressful and exciting. And, I mean, the Pirates haven't been good. I mean, they last won the World Series in 1979 and they have no payroll. So it's hard to like love them, but I'm still a fan. So I can roll with that. But like the Steelers, like I can't roll with the Patriots. No. And the Patriots just kick the Steelers ass year in and year out. Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, where you never beat him. I mean, once in a while he did, but it was just painful. And then like, everybody's just so arrogant. I can't I don't even like going to Foxborough for any reason. So yeah, I just can't do it. So like Steelers, I'm like diehard. Like Pirates, but that's all wear. But you won't see me wearing a Patriots thing.
In the dominance the Patriots have had, and I'm more of a hockey guy, so don't think of me as like a diehard Pats fan. The Patriots have been dominated. Patriots have been great for a while, but honestly, probably the second best team in that 20-year stretch was the Steelers. Multiple.
Yeah. No, I mean they had a couple Super Bowls in there. So
they did really well. I remember them being tough.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up a bad memory, but when I was younger, I was a Bledsoe guy, And I was so jacked up when
Yeah.
Bledsoe came in that AFC Championship game. So I don't want to bring up a bad memory, but man, that was probably the most jacked up I've ever been about a football moment when he came back and won that game.
No, there's a lot of Steelers heartbreaks there, but yeah, I mean, at least I lived through. I mean, I probably never lived through a Pirates championship, even though they've made the playoff a couple of times. But it was good. The Steelers beat the Cardinals. They beat the Seahawks. They lost to the Packers, unfortunately. But now it's like life post Big Ben. I mean, we've got these guys that you've had Brady for all those years, and now he like purportedly retired, and then now it's the Kenny Pickett area in Pittsburgh. So we'll have to see how it goes.
You lived for Pirates World Series, I guess. You would have been 6, but.
Well, that's where I got to like him, I think, because I was 6 years old. And, so the Pirates won in 79. The Steelers that's when they were, winning their Terry Bradshaw winning championships. So I still remember when I was real young, I made a bet with a guy, my father's friend. They were playing the Rams in the Super Bowl. And he's like, I'll buy you ice cream if the Steelers win. And if the Rams win, it's the year they play the Rams, I had to buy him a beer. So I think that's where, I remember making that bet when I was 7 years old. So that was the Steelers won.
So you got your ice cream. Does that?
I got I don't remember anything else, but I do remember that. Yeah.
Does that make you a Penguins fan?
Hockey, I'm sort of I sort of grew up thinking I was a Buffalo Sabres fan, but I don't know why. I hockey, I just like watching. I think at this point, so I was into the Bruins, this season, and then that was tough. Game 7 was tough.
Yeah.
I didn't really like Keith Tkachuk there.
Oh my God, Matthew Tkachuk.
Okay.
Oh no, Keith's his dad. Yeah, Matthew. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, he's like a Marchand. You'd love to have him on your team. Right.
Right. He just seems like such a pain in the ass. But I mean, he's always scoring.
Erica's I have no clue what you're talking.
I have nothing to contribute to this conversation.
Well, I'm just I'm sorry. So Todd and I were talking on here before you jumped in, Erica, and it's quite the opposite. Usually I'm the one running late. And I was like, wait, so you're from the Foxborough area. So you must be a Pats fan. Nope, Steelers. And then I'm like, he has got a Red Sox hat on. So I'm trying to put the dynamic together and everything. No, it's cool.
Well, it's funny. My dad's been a lifelong, former Redskins fan, now Commanders, and then my brother's always been a Vikings fan. So I don't know where we got these wacky teams from, but we were always a Redskins, Vikings, Steelers household.
Yeah, let's pivot again and get out of the sports talk. I want to know, so you had touched upon earlier that you have a marathon coming up. Is that your only big race? And which one are you actually running? I think I might have missed that one. You might have talked about it before I got on. So what are your upcoming races and goals that you have?
Yeah, so the only race I have now is the Hudson Mohawk Marathon, which is in Albany. Or it ends in Albany. It's on a bike path. It's, I was going to say it's 26 miles. That's of course it's 26 miles. Right. But it's like ever so slightly downhill. I always got to put that out there because so sometimes, these Revel marathons they roll.
I just ran one and it was awesome. And I would run downhill all day.
They got one coming to New Hampshire, right?
Yeah.
They do. They picked the same weekend. Yeah. I'm going to Ohio for Flying Pig. So I'm going to miss it. I was like, you guys had to pick that freaking weekend. Right. Anyways, I'm a little bit butthurt. So continue.
But yeah, it's a smaller race, but it's good for, just it'd be good to be in the hometown and just, I've always wanted to do it. I never did the half there or the full. So it's a one-way race and on a bike path. It's not like super well attended, but it's just, it'd be fun. I've watched it once or part of it. And what happened was I just recently, I joined Hopkinton Run Group. And they actually get bibs for the Boston Marathon, so maybe someday.
Very nice. Fingers crossed for you,
Sharon.
Yeah. What happened was they somebody in their group signed up for Mohawk Hudson, couldn't do it, so they wanted to transfer their bib, and I was like, I apply for Chicago every year and get rejected, so I didn't have that. And I was kind of looking for something, and I was like, oh, that sounds good, and then we just worked it out. So it seemed like it was just meant to be. So
there you go.
So when you see all those Chicago posts, they'll be Chicago. You just gotta look for the little New York one that's kind of hidden in the.
Man, Chicago's got it out for you. The broken toe, the no donuts, the no bib. Oh,
yeah. Actually, and one time, me and my wife went to Chicago, and I had an irregular heartbeat there. It's like I had an incident of it there, so I was there.
No. How did you find?
something about Chicago.
We're so like all over the place here. How did you find out about this heart issue you had? Bring us back there. Bring us.
Oh, because you can feel it. I mean, if your heart's not beating regularly, you can definitely feel it. I mean, it happened in college a few times, or not a few times. It happened initially in college, and it just happened. My brother has it too, so I don't know if it's a genetic thing, but just I mean, it gets common as you get older for people. Like a lot of older people tend to get it. I just got it when I was younger. So
Well, I think we can confirm we found the cure. It's called running, right?
You know what? It works,
we are not
man.
doctors. We are not doctors.
Yeah. You don't have to say that. I'll cut that out. No,
I do have to say that.
This is just like Scrubs. It's real. It's legit.
Right.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on a podcast.
For your training, do you have a run coach? Like, do you do it on your own? How do you come up with your plan?
No, I just do it on my own. I mean, I modify a lot of things just to fit. Like I wouldn't want to lose Orange Theory. I wouldn't want to lose the lifting. I think a coach, that just wouldn't be for me. Just not into it. So I follow like the Hal Higdon plan. I just try to hit the number of miles. Like, do I do speed work? We do speed work at Orange Theory, so I consider that my speed work. Like, I don't go to a track or anything. So, I just kind of try to hit I'm like good. I just want to hit the number of miles it says for that week and the runs, and that's it. I mean, I like the pace.
Is that the same plan
I tend
every
to run
time?
like the same pace all the time.
Is that the same plan every time? You follow the same plan, or you change it up a little bit?
No, I think I did Hal intermediate 1 last time, and it just kind of, I was going to do novice 2 this time. I was going to take a step back, and that didn't seem like enough miles.
That book. I'm thinking of Hanson's. I have a Hanson's marathon.
Hanson's way too much. That's a lot of miles.
I tried that for my first marathon, and I don't think I did it the way they wanted me to, but I finished it.
Their beginner plans, like run 60 miles a week. I mean, I'm not that guy, like I'll do 30 or 40, but it's just, I like how it says like 4 miles. Like I don't want to do, like a lot of this, like 1 mile warm up, 2 times 800 at half marathon. Like, I don't even want to think about that. I just want to, like, how many miles is it? Okay. Right. That's it. Let's just run it. Yeah. And if I feel faster that day, I'll run faster. That's it.
I like doing that too. Yeah. The plan I have going on for my ultra coming up, I try to hit the distance. That's like the main thing, but it goes by your RPE, the rate of exertion, something like perceived. There we go. So it's like, for this day we want you to run at like a 2 to 3. This day we want you at like a 5 to 6. In your easy days, do a 2 to 3. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. That sounds better than like you got to run like 8-minute miles. Like right. It's just too much for an ultra training plan. Like, I'm not worried about speed. It's more of a, can I finish this damn thing? So I like the RPE scale.
Well, since Eric is talking about ultras and you've done marathons, have you done anything more than a marathon, or do you have any goals or aspirations to do something bigger? Or what are your goals and aspirations?
No. My goals are just to keep it active as long as I can. I'd like to run the Boston Marathon one day, but it's not like vital to my being, and just be a good example. Like I feel like I'm transitioning into this person that maybe is like teaching seniors how to run, because that's how old I'm getting. But I just try to. I don't know that I want to be like an inspiration, but I think if people can see that I can be older and still do it, and I think a lot of people, when I hear that they're 35 years old and they're like, oh, I'm washed up or anything, like I didn't start till I was 39, and I still I run these races, and I'm not going to win, and I normally wouldn't win an age group award. Maybe I'll start, but I'm usually every race I run, I'm in between the top 15 and 30%, so that's good, including yesterday. So that's been good enough for me, and I'm in a lot healthier. I mean, it's the best shape I've ever been in, so including high school. So just as long as I can keep doing that, keeps me mentally focused, I'm all good.
There you go. Stay injury free. That's also key.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great time to bring up some of our final questions. I won't call it the final 2, but some of our final questions. So I go digging deep, and we already confirmed I didn't dig that deep this time, but into your Instagram.
It's a lot of pictures on there. I probably regret it. What the hell was that?
Got to do a purge.
So I scroll and I try to find something that's funny or maybe not even running related. This one I think is running related and it looks funny. So I'm going to describe it to you. you're in your driveway, or I'm assuming that's your driveway. It could be a random stranger's driveway. It is winter time. There is snow all over the place. I'm assuming you're wearing no shoes because your shoes are on your hand. You're doing a squat and you got your hands up like you're praying. What's the story behind this photo?
I'm trying to think of what I could have possibly been thinking there.
Do you need to read the caption?
Can you read?
Oh, sure. I'll read the caption. All right. Just out here reenacting how I spent most of my morning at the Church of OTF. Hold squat until time is called.
Yeah, so that was probably just trying to reenact like an Orange Theory challenge where I think sometimes you do like a certain number of minutes of exercises and they're like, they just stop you and they're like, all right, hold squat until we call time. So you just sit there until like your legs are freaking burning, and then they call time. So that's probably just on my mind because my legs hurt like hell, and then I just did it in my driveway. I don't know why my shoes would have been on my hands, but maybe just to like bring attention to it. But got to be different, because I see a lot of people and they post the same picture all the time. Like literally, like every post is like the same picture. I'm like,
I did 4, I did 6, or whatever.
Right. Oh yeah, exactly. Or the same angle of their face.
Nicole's going to hate me because I just called her out on that.
Oh yeah, she does.
That's why I said the 4 or the 6. It's just the first thing that came to mind. She's great. Right. We love her too. Like I said, we wouldn't tease you if we didn't love you. So,
exactly. I'm sure she can handle it.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Yeah. She's awfully. She's kind of short too. Like when we stand next to each other, it's kind of like a joke, right?
You're probably like a little child to you. It's gonna cause neck problems for both of you.
It is, yeah. But somehow we make our differences. We come together. Yeah.
I'm so bummed we all didn't get a picture the other day. Nicole said something because I was like, "Congratulations! Like you knocked that race out of the park." And she's like, "We didn't get a picture," and I was like, "I did not even think of it." But by the end of that race, I was like the sweatiest drowned rat. I was glad there were no pictures taken.
There were a lot of people were in rough shape. It was tough.
That it was.
I'm sorry I missed it. I was stuck in a rainstorm at NASCAR. And then how
did that go, by the way? Were you just like confined to your camper?
Actually left, came home, and I deflooded my basement for 4 hours.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So it probably saved me because I had to come here and save my house. So I still got to watch the race, which was today. I just got home. Can you see I got like really good raccoon eyes? I was wearing the Gooder shields. I don't know what they're called. The huge ones that Nicole thinks is absolutely redonkulous.
That's funny.
I had a hat on, but
well, Erica, did you notice? Speaking of the dates, did you notice the race T-shirt was today's date?
I did notice that. I was looking at it after I washed it yesterday. I was like, Brandon, what's the date? He's like, it's the 16th, and I did notice that they messed it up, but kind of makes it fun.
Can I tell you something funny now that you mentioned dates? When I proposed a long time ago, I knew we were hiking Mount Monadnock, and we had our daughter already, and she was 2. 1.5, 2.5 around that time. Right. And so Scott Black was coming on the hike and he was going to like record, and I didn't get on a knee or anything. I just said, "Hey, let's take a photo." And I opened up the poster, and the poster says, "Will you marry me?" or something, or, oh no, it says, "Mommy, will you marry Daddy?" And on it, I wrote the date. So we'd never forget the date. I made the poster. And I remember, like, as I'm making it, I looked at my watch or my phone, and the date said, I'm going to make it up. It was like September 8th. So I wrote down September 9th because the hike was tomorrow. But it was already after midnight, and it was already the 8th. And so I wrote the wrong date on the poster.
That's what happens, right?
Oh, man, yeah. So
That's why we got married on Leap Day. So you can't forget that. I can only have to remember that every
my daughter's due date was the day after, and I was really hoping she would be a leap year birthday, but we just missed it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
missed it. Yeah. Which saved me a lot of money on birthday parties.
That's true. Yeah. It's a unique one to have, though.
All right, Todd, you ready for this? We got our big question that Newt loves to blow out of proportion.
I prepped him, by the way.
So we have our awesome Spotify playlist that we like to invite our guests to add a song to. So are there any songs that just pump you up, get you motivated? I mean, would go perfect in the background of one of your pumpkin spice latte videos. What do you want to add?
I've been thinking about this since he mentioned it, and I was listening to this on the way to the race. Was Megatron by Nicki Minaj.
Megatron. I don't know if I know that one.
And just so you could actually in your head you could say Megatod.
Oh, it's the name of the podcast, Megatod. We're calling this one Megatod.
98% of it's 98% of it's dirty, but in one line she says it's not the race either, it's the marathon.
Oh, right.
So there you go.
Perfect. Plus 98% dirty.
She's not talking about running.
Oh no, she's not. What's she talking about?
No, she's
I
not.
figure as much. It's Nicki Minaj, but
yeah,
with some of the other songs that we have on this playlist, that'll fit
Ashley
right
Paulson would do something like that. It's not about the race, it's the marathon, or not whatever. It would be like, wait, are we talking about the same thing?
But that song that song, that's a banger from start to finish.
Ah, nice. Love it.
Or as a kid, or as Urban Dictionary would say, that song slaps.
Oh,
I still call them bangers. No, nope. That's sticking around. I'm gonna make it stick around.
I think our very first. I don't know. Was it your first one, Erica? The very first time you asked someone for that, was it Addie? And like the song blew us out of the water. We're like, where did that come from? What was it? It was like Lil Jon or
out of your mind. I think it's Lil Jon.
Yeah, I know that song. Yeah.
That was her song. We were like, whoa. Is that even? I guess our playlist is going X-rated already, rated R.
Yeah, it's hard not to these days, man.
It is hard not to.
Yeah,
just mildly explicit. That's okay.
Right. Do you got anything? Any tires you want to pump? Any brands, ambassadors? I know you're big influencer, or you're not, or you're against them.
Yeah, I love Brooks shoes. I got hurt running in Hoka's all the time, so keep that in mind if you're going to buy those. If cushion shoes aren't good for your knees. I don't do lunges because they hurt my knees. My knees are normally fine. There's just certain exercises I don't like.
Hate lunges.
A lot of times my face doesn't move when I talk, so a lot of people are confused. Like a lot of times people will say, like, are you serious? Like a lot of times in my life, people are like, are you serious? Or like I wasn't sure if you were telling the truth. Or I think I just confuse a lot of people when I talk. So, I mean, even when I'm here, people may not even know if I'm telling the truth, but I think people don't know where you're coming from. It's like, that's a smart survivor tactic. Nobody would know if I was lying or not. So, yeah, no, you know what? I think that like this whole Instagram community, I mean, including this, I mean, I've met some great people. I mean, I've met literally hundreds of people, and I've met people at races. I've done races with people. I mean, I met, how many people yesterday that were all from Instagram. So, 5 or 6 people I take pictures with, and it's like you're friends with them. I mean, what a great idea, or not a great idea, but great, concept. I mean, there's so much negativity on social media and stuff, me making jokes and, at least making people laugh. It's just been like a blessing to be able to be in the running community for 10 years. So I'm very grateful.
Let me ask you,
and I'm grateful to do this.
Let me ask you then about that. What's your first memory of a time when the Instagram, social media, or the running community like brought you together with someone? Say like when you met Erica, but what's one of your first memories? Like, I say this like I was eventually recognized one day. I'm like, oh, wow, someone recognized me through Instagram. Yeah. What was like one of your first memories of a moment like that? Do you recall it?
There's a friend, Gina and Eric, I've had on here for like 10 years. She's actually, if you go back and you scroll through the posts, or you can scroll through your followers, she's like the first person, like it says like followers by like earliest. And like, I'm still friends with her to this day, and I'm friends with her and her husband, and I visited them. Well, they moved to Florida, but now they were in Connecticut, then they moved to Florida. And like, I think just like the fact that we would recognize each other and post like in 2013 when nobody was doing that, and still today we talk and text, the two of us every day. Like that was kind of the start of it. There's just people, there's people that I've known here for 10 years that I've never met that I'm like, oh my God, I would drive 100 miles to go see them just to like talk and see what they look like. So in 3D. So yeah, that was kind of, just kind of like the people I've known for a long time. It's like,
but you wouldn't do it at Dunkin' Donuts.
No, they'll sit there alone. No. Hell no. We won't do that.
They're gonna get stood up.
I'll buy the Starbucks, but no, we're not going to Dunkin' Donuts. And actually, Gina will post Dunkin' Donuts, and every time I'm like, I'm blocking you.
You've got your limits.
All right,
man.
I found the one that should have been my Instagram pic. As I'm scrolling, and I'm just like kind of keep scrolling to get deep because I got to keep my creeper status here. I found it. All right.
Okay.
October 8th, 2013. You
Oh wow.
and a female mannequin head or something?
Oh yeah, that was at a yeah. That's a weird picture. I can't believe you went back that far. That was at like a that was at a I want to say I mean it was at a museum. I don't want to say a children's museum because that sounds like an evil children's museum. But yeah, I took a picture of that just to be like a freak. That was definitely before the running days. But
look how Erica.
Yeah, I mean I actually started my account like a month before that. So yeah,
Erica, look how
picture.
like happy and excited. Like look at his facial. He's like.
Right.
She looks indifferent. She's like, what?
Yeah.
I love
it. That was when people should have known that was the start of something bad. So there's not many people.
And just to let you know, yes, I have reached the bottom of his Instagram. That first photo was September 1st of 13. So yeah, I made it to the bottom. Creeper status is still legit for me.
Yeah, that's a long time. I mean, Instagram hadn't been around for.
Remember when it was just simple, the simple days of take a picture, pick a filter, and
right. I mean, but before it was like more running journey. Now it's like there's just a lot of bullshit you got to like sift through to get to like the others like bike bitches, and now it's a little bit complicated. Before you just took a picture and now you're done. Now you need like a video production crew and no job.
I'm the worst at that too. That's why I don't have many videos up because I don't know how.
I'll just post the clips, like the clips that you're going to see here on our channel to like promote the pod and get people excited. Yeah. But yeah, I've been off the grid for a couple of weeks camping and doing everything. And I come home and I'm like, what is Threads? Like, oh my God, another one. I'm like,
right.
I have something else I have to
blew
learn
up right away too.
So yeah,
it's just Twitter. It's just Mark Zuckerberg Twitter.
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah. We'll see if we go there. I don't know. We'll just stick to the reels and YouTube. Follow on YouTube. Well, Todd, this was fun. I'm glad I got to meet you. I'm glad we made this work. I hope the people everyone who sent me those messages that day are going to be happy to hear you on. I didn't know at the time you were already on a podcast before too, so I'm going to have to check that out.
It wasn't video though. It was just audio.
Oh, so we made it. So, we went next level.
Yeah,
so we are special.
Thank you for coming on the pod, man. Thank you for hopefully I get to meet you. I know Erica's racing every weekend. I get to race like once every quarter. So
I'll be up to New Hampshire again. I like to visit everybody and get out.
Do you have a race coming up here? Like I'm thinking of running the Manchester Marathon. Do you have
you gotta
like
keep
a Millennium
us
or a Total Image race coming up?
No, actually, the one other race I forgot to mention that I signed up for is the BAA half marathon. That's in November. So have to fit something else in between there. I mean, I'd probably like a September half marathon maybe.
Very nice.
Running 13, 15, 17 miles, every long run.
You should come if you don't mind running on dirt or non-pavement. There's a run we're going to do. Is it October, Erica? Run the Res?
Yeah, the 28th of October. It's a Saturday, and it's a 5-miler. We have another one of our friends of the pod fam, Patrick Lieber, who's going to be in town. So we're gonna take him for a nice little tour around. I think it's Auburn. Is it Auburn?
Yeah, most of the trails I run are crushed gravel and dirt, like dirtish kind of. Not like roots.
Yeah, this has no roots. I used to when my dog was alive, I took her on walks all the time around this trail. I loved it, but it's snowmobile trails. Or like fire roads. That's kind of more what it's like, but it's around this pond that you wouldn't know is like in the Manchester area. It's like you can't get to it by a car. You got to drive up a dirt road, park on the dirt road, and then you walk into the pond. And it's kind of cool because it's kind of secluded. And you wouldn't know walking around there that you're like a mile from Manchester.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right,
cool. Well, this was great.
Yeah, I was just going to say thanks, Todd. I'm glad I got to meet you yesterday, mostly because you're awesome, and secondly, because it makes Eric jealous. So I get to meet all the cool people.
Yeah, that was good timing. It
was a lot of fun.
Everyone, that was fun. Todd Pikor on the On the Runs podcast.
Todd, you are freaking awesome.
Funny guy.
I'm so happy we finally got to talk to you.
There's been some people already on Instagram.
Hashtag no dunks. Hello.
Right. They're saying they're going to protest this episode because they saw just because of the caption alone. So,
well, look what you started.
Let's see here.
They wouldn't have known until they listened. So you should have waited.
It was Crystal.
Crystal goes, I won't listen
Crystal.
because of the caption. But then again, he's the funniest guy here for the running community, so I'll check it out. Boom, liking it. That is a live like reaction. The great Danilo, Danilo.
Danilo?
He has a beard. He has a big beard. He goes, that's lots of talk about PSL season.
PSL, pumpkin spice latte.
There was some pumpkin spice lattes. Thank you for clarifying. I was like, PSL. I was reading that live. That was my live reaction. Todd, you were awesome, man. That was fun. The story about the toe in Chicago. I broke my pinky toe when I was in the off-season of NASCAR during like tryouts and everything for pit stops. That having a broken toe, like even the pinky toe, was awful. I lost all my I lost like
your mojo. Is that what you're going for?
Agility.
Agility.
I had no I couldn't push off of that foot.
Mm-hmm.
It was my right pinky toe. I mean, I knew it was broken. I didn't go to a doctor. There's nothing they can do.
No.
But I stubbed it in the door jamb. And it was awful, excruciating pain.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm a hockey player. I played through it. Soccer player, baseball player, they would have they would have dropped on the ground, rolling around. Basketball player, they would have been out for 6 months.
I'll tell you though. So I broke my toe. Well, I think I broke it. It like turned the whole outside half of my foot purple. But I kicked just the corner of my couch here.
Yeah.
I crumpled like a sack of potatoes, like thrown. Like nothing made me hurt.
You're a soccer player. You played soccer in high school.
Oh no, this was not even close. Like, oh my God. It honestly is so painful. So I understand. I did it 2 weeks before a marathon too.
Ooh.
Had a little bit of time to heal.
Yeah.
I was like,
Take some ibuprofen.
No, I'll be okay. I said,
let me tell you, that was fun. The post I made the other day.
Sure.
So we just walked in the house. We have an interview. We're both pretty nervous.
Well, we got something awesome coming up, and can't help but be a little.
Well, I actually made the post about who do you think's more nervous, Eric or Erica? Because
talking to Ashley Paulson.
Yeah, it was like the pre-talk as we're waiting to see if we're live on YouTube. 100% voted you are the most nervous.
I also said it myself, so I just thought I was the only one who clicked it. I was like, yeah, it is me.
Yeah,
but
she thought like, oh, I must be the only one who did it. No, it was about 17 of you all voted her. No one voted me. Who's the most nervous before every time we record? Me. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's him. So I just get nervous to meet new people. Like sometimes I stumble over my words, but he has so much more to worry about than I do. So it does make
my
sense.
Nervous anxiety isn't so much about the interview. I do the prep. Like with episode 11, Addie Zarenner, I came in all this confidence. I knew what we were going to talk about and do. I am so nervous every time. How is it going to come out? How are they going to hear us on our end? For instance, we just had the FUBAR with Jeannie in June. We still haven't finished that. It's going to take a while. My goal is Labor Day. Like, okay, put that out Labor Day week.
Yeah, we're sorry, Jeannie. We're working on it.
And Patrick's sending us pictures of him and her hanging out. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get to it. I know he's not saying get to her episode.
He's just rubbing it in that he gets to hang out with the greats.
With the GOAT. With the GOAT, the 7-year-old. So I'm so nervous all the time. And
yeah.
I try to get here. I actually pushed most of our interviews they were always 6. Now they're 6:30.
Yeah, just to give us enough time
just
to
so
make
I can
sure
set up, do
everything
testing and everything. Because last week my microphone didn't sound that great. I have 2 mics. I'm pretty sure I broke one. I have a mic that's always at home, and I have a traveling mic. And so we'll see how I sound after this. But I took my home studio mic with me, and
hopefully it's good.
Yeah, Eric and I got here earlier, and we're doing a bunch of testing, and everything sounds fine on both mics. But why does mine always sound like it's called clipping? Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I got the volumes right. So I am typically the most nervous before every time we record. Not necessarily the interviewee or the guest we have on. But today I was a little bit. So
yeah.
Next week we have a cool guest. He hiked the entire Appalachian Trail, which was kind of like his intro into running.
Yeah.
Like he didn't run the trail, but he started running after, and he gives a lot of credit to when he hiked the Appalachian Trail.
And it's pretty badass.
Yeah. So he was a
cool
guy.
Some great stories.
We got more fun for the summertime. I'm super excited.
Mhm.
Like
we're pretty booked up for the next few weeks, so you guys are gonna have some awesome content coming.
You should see the calendar. And
Yeah.
I was setting it up the other day. All right, final. I did not send the email, but I am sending it first thing tomorrow morning. I think everyone wants a t-shirt, but if you hear this, we got about
one more day.
No, we have 32 people who ordered t-shirts. So I'm going to order 35.
Okay, a couple extras.
So
just
there's
get the
3
regular
extras.
sizes. Maybe one small, one medium, one large, or something.
I'm thinking 2. All right, I'll go 36. I'll get 2 more mediums and 2 more larges.
There you go.
Right. So cool. So if you want one, let me know. But the order's going in tomorrow morning. He's probably like, Eric, you said end of day Friday. I'm like, yeah, I had the list end of day Friday, but it was a busy weekend. It was fun. Listen, we've talked about me this entire time. What's going on in your life?
I feel like we don't have enough time to talk about me.
You got 2 minutes.
all I can say is I'm getting really excited about my 100-miler coming up. I just hit the 2-month mark before we actually set off, and I'm getting all the pre-race emails, and I'm just getting really excited, you guys. So if anybody has any tips for me about stuff to bring so I can have a drop bag, but then stuff I have to carry on me, I'm totally new to this. The only other ultras I've done are the loop one. So I'm passing by a camp the whole time, and this is completely different. So just help me out, you guys. If you have any tips, I'd love to hear them. I'm just getting nervous, anxious, excited, all the above.
So you're thinking about the 100-miler, not Anchor Down, 2 weeks away.
Oh, see, I know what I'm getting into for Anchor Down, and I am so excited for Anchor Down. Don't get me wrong.
All right.
But this is just different and a little scary. So
do you have anyone else coming with you to Anchor Down? Do you have a backup? Do you have
not.
anyone interested? No?
If you can't go, dude, I'm just going to go.
So let me give you some encouraging news.
Okay.
I don't have a babysitter locked up yet.
Okay.
But I talked to my mother earlier today, and she says, I don't have anything that night yet. And if I have to, she doesn't love like spending the night at my house.
Oh, yeah.
But she says, if I have to, or basically says, I can be there if you need me to.
Okay.
Which
Candace to the rescue.
She knows like she'll be at my house till 1 a.m. until Ashley gets home.
Okay.
But I have a backup for the babysitter option.
Cool.
But again, it's just a little bit of a, okay, we're pretty sure it can go. But things come up. My parents are retired, and they're like, something comes up. Oh, we're going to go do this. And they don't keep a calendar like me.
Uh-huh.
And like
I know shit happens, so
right.
I won't hold it against you.
I just
honestly, if you can't go, I'm packing up my stuff and my little car. If I have to take a nap before I drive back up, I will. I'll cheer on some of the 24-hour runners while I wait.
That's right.
And
hopefully, like you can cheer on Maurice. You could be Maurice's crew. And our friends Juicebox Guy and
Zach and Ainsley. Come on, learn some names.
Maybe they could give you a ride back if I can't get there.
I'm not making people give me a ride back.
You know who's going to be there volunteering?
I will camp.
I'm really excited to see. Well, Callie's going to volunteer, but I don't know.
Is she really?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, is her crew going? Because she had a crew. I think it was Kelly.
Idea.
There was Lori. I think it was Lori. There was another guy. There was a crew from her run group in.
I remember
New York.
that.
So I wonder.
Why do I want to say one was Michelle? Does that?
It was Michelle.
Okay, that rings a bell.
Lori. Oh, did I say Lori?
You did.
Because I'm thinking Lori.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we love Lori anyway. So.
Love Lori. But I hope to see Lori there, and Paul.
Mm-hmm. Chris.
Help me out with the name. Who was the guy volunteering last year, and he's going to run this year? He had the pizzas and the dog.
I can picture his Instagram name.
I know. It's one of those ones I can't pronounce.
Tovasaurus.
Yeah, Tovasaurus.
But I don't remember what it's.
Tovasaurus.
I'm sorry.
And Maurice, and there'll be some other really awesome people. I did not make a YouTube video of Sunrise Ascent.
Well, you had your work cut out for you this year.
I had all the intentions, and then we started, and I was doing my team lead stuff, and then I realized I didn't even start with the filming yet. So
don't worry about it.
If I'm there, I am going to do the best I can.
Yeah.
But
no pressure, dude. I know you have your own responsibilities,
I'm not.
I roped myself into this race, so it's fine. I will make do. Plus, that's even more encouragement to just keep going because I have no reason to stop. Right. Nobody's there for me. So,
but also, no one's there to stop you, and no one's there to tell you keep going.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, let's wrap this up, shall we?
We're going to wrap this up because we got 2 interviews to do. And I love doing this. This is so awesome. We kind of skipped out of a half a day of work to come record on.
Oh, I had to use vacation time for this, so.
Mine's called FTO, unlimited, but again, don't abuse it.
Yeah.
All for good reasons. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Don't forget, follow us on Instagram. Link in bio will bring you everywhere. You can find our email in the link in bio. It will also direct you to our YouTube channel. Please check out, subscribe, turn on notifications on the YouTube channel because videos are popping up. When we go live, you'll get a notification that says we're going live, and we're hoping to do, actually, we're going live Monday, which you're listening Tuesday. We are going live Thursday, time to be determined, with Tara Watt. And she's going to tell us all about back surgery, and basically, you can do it if you put your back into it.
On that note, everybody, we love you, and don't forget to stretch.
3, 2, 1.
You got your 13 miles in, right?
We did, yeah. Rachel and I were supposed to do 19 yesterday, and by the end of those extra laps, we said nope, and had some more beer, and then called it a day.